G'day guys, Luke here. Welcome back to another video. In today's video guys, we're doing the Reptile update for November 2022. I do apologise guys about the echo in this room. We just got to put up with it for the time being. However, let's jump straight into it. So in this 3-foot enclosure we have Emma Azula, who are one of two breeding pairs of children pythons we have in the family. Emma's doing well, smashing food, protecting his girl and enjoying life as he should. Azula, she's in shed at the moment. She hasn't eaten for a little while, so fingers crossed she may be gravid. So we may get another clutch of eggs, which we get to later on in the video about that. So fingers crossed, yeah, Azula's fine and she'll hopefully drop a clutch of eggs and start eating again soon. So in the enclosure, guys, we've got 2 hides, a nest box, water bowl, a fake plant. The substrate I use is coconut fibre. Got a backing, couple of sticks in there, a heat pad where the 2 snakes are sitting at the moment, and a light just to light up the enclosure, but both are doing quite well. Next door to them we have Superstar and Graham, who are my 2 blonde spotted pythons. Both are doing well. Superstar just shed her skin the other day, so she's looking very beautiful. She's the more darker one, while Graham is more the brighter one. So both, like I said, are doing well. They're both approaching 13 years of age, so they're my eldest reptiles in the family. Both of them are housed in a 3-foot enclosure, like I've said. So in the enclosure, I've got 3 hides, a heat lamp, normal light just to display the enclosure. We've got a backing, a stick, fake plant, a couple of pieces of wood and a rock in there to help to shed their skin, and a nice big water dish. Below them, in a 6-foot enclosure, we have Chappie and Orchid, who are a pair of Centralian carpet pythons. Chappie ate for the first time since July, while Orchid's just shed her skin recently. So fingers crossed she may be possibly gravid as well, or pregnant, and she might have some eggs in her. So Orchid is this beautiful one here, while Chappie's snout is just poking out of the pile there. Chappie loves his girl, and while Orchid trying to get away from him sometimes, but he's a lover boy, and I don't blame him. She's a very beautiful girl. So in the enclosure, we've got the heat light, a nice backing that I built for him. Of course, one of them had the P on it, and kind of give it that bad look. A couple of light strips in here to light up the enclosure. Got a hide, nest box, water dish, and the substrate, like I said, coconut fibre. The only substrates I'm using at the moment is either coconut fibre, sand, or paper towel on a couple of my animals. Anyway, we'll move on. In this 3-foot enclosure, we have Charles, who's my albino darn carpet python. He shedded also very recently, so he's really yellow, very stunning at the moment. Hopefully he stays like that for a little longer before he sheds again. Still growing. Lately he's been a very cranky snake, so well, you got to deal with that, I guess. In his enclosure, we've got 2 hides. We've got his rock, or a couple of rocks I should say, water dish, his branch, backing, heat lamp, his hammock, and he's got a light strip that he sheds with Molly and Chris, who we get to a little later. Molly here is my jungle carpet python. She's recovering still from her operation that was a year ago. Had a beautiful girl. So there she is. Still small, but she's still beautiful. In her enclosure, I've got a nice backing that I built for her. Got a heat lamp, light strip that I said she sheds with. A couple of fake plants in here. Water dish, substrate, and a hide. But yeah, she's doing well. And below them, in a 6-foot enclosure, we have Ray, who is my Rosenberg monitor. She's doing well, still getting the idea of being handled and whatnot. Smashing food, like no tomorrow. She's also interested in crickets and woodies, but she loves her superworms, loves her mice, and even she'll take even a bit of dog food, wet dog food as well, which is pretty good. Keeps her food bill down a little bit. However, we'll stop rambling and continue. Got a lot of animals to go through. So in Ray's enclosure, I've got a few rocks in there for her to bask on, 2 hides that she can sleep in, a couple more rocks over this end, water dish, a couple branches for her to climb up on, a couple of fake plants to decorate an enclosure. Got a backing heat lamp in the corner, and these light strips up here are new. They are LED UVB light strips. There's actually a bulb version of those as well. Get your pet right as done them. So if you see these in the market, I highly suggest them getting them. Even though they're a bit expensive, they last about 4 years, and the LEDs are very low wattage bulbs or strips and whatnot. And with the smaller ones, and I think also there's a bigger model as well, you can connect them, which is awesome. So I went from using about 52 watts of UV in here down to about 18 watts of UVB in this enclosure. And you can see brightness in the enclosure actually lights up the enclosure quite well for considering for 2 of these bulbs, strips I should say, in a 6-foot enclosure, they're doing the job very well. Anyway, that's kind of, I'm not being sponsored to say that, I thought I'll share that around. I really do enjoy them and I do recommend them. Anyway, we move over here to Chris, who is my black-headed python. She's being a bit of an idiot. She's kind of putting her body on top of her head, but she's still a funny snake. She's 2.3 meters, so about 7 feet and 4 inches. So that means I've got to build her a bigger cage soon. So hopefully I can do that by Christmas time. So she's housed in a 4-foot enclosure at the moment. Hopefully she'll be in a 6-foot enclosure not too long from now. So we've got a heat element up there. The light strip, like I said, she shares with 2 hides, substrate, fake plant, nice big water dish. Basically that's it for the time being, and when she goes into something bigger, I'll kind of decorate it a bit better and make it more stunning, because she is a stunning snake. But smashes food, like she has no hesitation, she will eat non-stop, this girl. Anyway, down below her we've got my 2 diamond pythons. Now both of them are going into sheds, so they're not looking as vibrant as they normally are. Both of these 2 are both housed in a 4-foot enclosure. So Aurelia, she's the yellow one sitting up there, and we have Atrim who's sitting on the ground. Both are doing well, smashing food. Aurelia, she's a very shy, very inquisitive snake when she wants to be. She's bitten me a couple of times, but that's because of her food response. But she's very shy. She doesn't mind being picked up and whatnot. Atrim down here, he's a funny snake. Anytime I come close to his enclosure, if I disturb it, he'll be coming towards me, being very inquisitive. And I just love this snake. He's funny as. And both of them are different, not just from their colour, but their personalities, which is awesome. So, like I said, housed in a 4-foot enclosure. They've got 5 hides to choose from. Water dish, their substrate, got a branch. Backings in here as well for them to kind of perch on. They've got a UV light strip, as diamond pythons and green treated pythons are the only Australian species of snakes that I'm aware of that require UVB. And we've got a heat element there. So that's it for this room. Let's hop into the other room and see how everyone else is doing in there. Okay guys, so we are in the other room now. So let's check out everyone else in here. We'll start over here with Suey. Now, I'll put a video up of Suey being active. So Suey here is my Sansuma. She's doing very well, smashing food. She's housed in a 50cm enclosure. In the enclosure itself, got a nice thick layer of sand. Got a bit of bark in here she can hide in. Fake plant, her water dish. Coconut hide that she can hide in, obviously. That's where her heat pad is, so she'll keep nice and warm there. Otherwise, she's got all the sand to dig around and bury herself into. And every couple of days, she'll get a nice feed of crickets. And we've got a bit of a backing there just to make the enclosure look a lot nicer. Next door to Suey, we have Rosie, who's my little ridge-tail molar. Guys, he's going very well. Look at him. He's a chunky little thing. He's still a bit shy, but over time, he will get used to me. Actually, I can actually hold him. He actually sleeps in my hand from time to time. He's a lot of a lunatic. I love this guy. If you guys are ever looking at monitors, ridge-tail monitors are pretty much the best beginner monitor, to be honest. They're just so cool. They don't get big as well, so they're very cool little pet. So, Rosie here is housed in a 3-foot enclosure. It's a low enclosure, so he doesn't need too much climbing space at the moment. But anyway, still giving him the chance to climb. He's got 4 hides in here to choose from. In that hide there's wet sand, so you can burrow into that. We've got a fake plant, a couple of branches for him to climb up on, his water bowl, his heat light there. And this is actually new, like I said in the beginning of the video. So he's got the UV LED light, which I'm really enjoying. So Rosie's doing quite well. Moving on, down here we've got the diva of the Reptile room. Here we have Akko. Akko is doing quite well. Don't you get angry with me. She's a bit unhappy with me lately, but she's doing well. So Akko here is my Eastern War Dragon. She's housed in a 4-foot enclosure. Hopefully in the next few months I can figure out something for her in regard to cage size. She might like the extra room. See what happens. Got a substrate. We've got a couple of logs in here for her to climb up on or bask on. got our hide, hammock, heating UV. We've got a backing, water bowl in the corner there, a couple of rocks, and a fake plant. We've got a diva sign because she's such a diva, and a food bowl there. Akko, she's actually settled down since we've actually moved someone away from her. But today she hasn't been all that happy with me for whatever reason. Down below Akko, we have Diablo. He's doing well. He's up in his cave at the moment, so I'll zoom in on another clip of him. So he's little Rosie, Diablo, he's housed in a 2-foot enclosure, doing quite well. He had a feed for the first time the other week. So we've got his backing, we've got a couple of sticks in here to climb up on, we've got his fake plant, a couple of hides, water bowl, substrate, and it shares a heat pad and a LED light strip with his neighbours, which are Aaron and Caesar. First of all, we've got a Caesar. Caesar's doing well. He's being a cranky little demon lately. Don't know why I should have named you Diablo instead of, Caesar. But he's doing well, smashing food, being very protective of his girl. Being a naughty snake and going behind the backing. I am planning on upgrading these two snakes quite soon. Erin, she's in the high, so I'll put a clip of her now. She's done extremely well. She actually laid eggs. It would be the 30th of October she laid them, so only a couple of days ago when this video is up. Otherwise, I haven't offered her food, obviously, within the 24 hours I've fed her. Just letting her settle down, kind of recompose her on Tuesday. When this video goes up, I'll offer her something to eat, and hopefully she'll start putting on body weight again. And yeah, she laid, I think, about 18 eggs, so there will be a video coming out on the weekend. If it's already out already, go and check it out, which would be on incubation. So 18 beautiful eggs, no slugs, so these two are done very well. So I'm rambling on here. We've got the backing, fake plants, water bowl, 2 hides, and actually using sphagnum moss as a substrate. It was kind of an experiment. Instead of using the nest box that I thought she may use, I thought she kept hiding in there. So instead of the coconut fibre that was in there at the time, switch it over to all sphagnum moss, dampen it down so she gets to choose where they her eggs. And it turned out she wanted to lay them in there. Well, this guy here, what am I going to do with you, mate? You're just a little demon. Anyway, move on. We go up here. So beforehand, as you know, Amazilla used to be up here. Now I've moved them. In here now, we've got Crystal. Here is my female pygmy bearded dragon. I thought she might like the extra space of a 3-foot enclosure instead of the 2-footer. She's been enjoying it up here. She's got more space to run around. As well, she's not interacting with Akko. At the time, I thought her and Akko might get along, but as neighbours, but it never happened. Crystal was always hiding and kind of watching over her shoulder with Akko. But ever since I put her up here, she's been trying to, I don't know, interact with Rosie, but both of them, well, Rosie does not care in the world. Crystal, she's enjoying it. She's destroying her house at the moment, so yeah. So in her 3-foot enclosure, we've got sands of substrate, a couple ornaments for her to sit on, a rock, which I'm thinking of taking now because she doesn't really use it. We've got a stick, a hide, even though she doesn't really use it now. Winter time she did. Got heating UV, couple backing, or a bit of backing just to make the enclosure look nicer. Food bowl and water bowl, heating UV. And the girl, she's just behind here exercising, doing very well. Below Crystal, we have Pedro. Now, Pedro is in that hide at the back corner there, so I'll put up a clip of him. It's very odd. I don't see him at all. Like, literally, I don't see him hardly. However, on a rare occasion, he does come down and eat some of his food, which is just the dog food. Every now and again, pop some insects in there. Doesn't touch those. Leafy greens, doesn't touch those. But otherwise, when I do check on him, his body condition is perfect. He's not changed, so I'm not too worried. He's a very shy animal, so he doesn't move around a whole much. And when I stay up at night, sometimes I do kind of hear him scratching away in one of the hides, but if rarely I see him. So he's housed in a 2-foot enclosure. In the enclosure itself, we've got the backing, couple branches for him to climb on. Since he is semi-arboreal, a couple of fake plants to make a bit more of a rainforesty look. Substrate, which is for the coconut fibre stuff. Food bowl, water bowl, 2 hides down the bottom, heat pad at this end, and he's got a UV light strip up here. Overall, he's doing well. Yeah, he's honestly, don't see him much, so there's nothing really to report on him. Now, if you guys haven't followed me on Instagram, I have announced I've got another member to the family. More than likely at this stage, when I'm filming, this girl may be named Snickers after the chocolate for some reason. She's doing well, guys, honestly. She was a given up pet by someone. I was kind of sitting at my work for about a month or so, and no one didn't really take her, so I thought I'll take her in. There's a bloody moth in there, what the hell? She's a children's python, so she might go into the breeding program next year, see what happens. She's housed in a 2-foot enclosure at the moment temporarily. So in the enclosure, it's this paper towel. She's got a heat pad where she is, 2 hides, a branch, a backing, water bottle. I haven't put a light on her because I want to make her feel nice and secure. She's had a couple of feeds already, so she's smashing food. Hey, beautiful. Let's come and say hello. She's such a beautiful girl. Very identical to Azula in colour and pattern. So I'm not going to pair her with Emma and Azula. I'll get confused between the two of them. With the two girls, I should say. But overall, she's doing quite well. To the other side of the room now, guys. So mainly just a few baby snakes, a gecko, and mainly skinks on this side. Over here, we've got one of my friend's snakes that I'm still taking care of. Still force feeding it, which absolutely sucks. But hopefully this thing starts eating on its own soon. That way this little one can go to its forever home. So this one, I can't remember the name it was given, so I'll leave it as that. Otherwise, it's still being a bit of a pain. Now, in these two enclosures, we've got Valentino and Chewbacca. So I'll pop up something of those two, because both of them have decided... Oh no, there's Chewbacca at the back there, just hiding away. Not a very good clear clip of him there, but I'll put something up anyway. While Valentino's gone underneath his paper towel. Both snakes are housed in a 30-centimeter enclosure, well, 1 foot. Now, both of them are doing quite well. They actually took hopper mice for the first time last week. They're just doing too well. It's almost been about 10 months, I think. No, 8 months since we were born, and let's say 10, 11 months since we've been born. And they're both just doing too well, honestly. I'm kind of speechless, to be honest. Like, yeah, both are doing well. So both enclosures, they've got 2 hides each, a water bowl and a branch, or 2. There's something from the climb up on, paper towel, and they share a heat pad with their respective neighbours. So, yeah. We go across now to, Charcoal, who's my little spine-tailed gecko. Oh, he's out. Very awesome. So, he's doing well, smashing food, enjoying life. He's been getting used to being handled, actually, by the way. So, yeah. He's, like I said, smashing food. So he's also housed in a 1 foot enclosure. In his enclosure, we've got a couple of branches for him to climb up on. Shares a heat pad with Valentino. We've got a hide, a few branches, water bowl in the back corner there. You can't really see. There it is. Fake plant and sand. And he gets fed every couple of days. And he's a nice, chunky little gecko. Okay, down we go to this 1 meter enclosure. Houses Billy, my little Eastern blue tongue. She's actually one of 4 blue tongues in the family. She's getting massive. Hey Billy, how you doing? She's going into a shed cycle there. She's getting nice and milky, I can see on the side. She's doing well, smashing food. She hasn't eaten in the last couple of days, but to be honest, she eats everything every day, so she's probably gone on a bit of a diet herself. So like I said, she's housed in a 1 meter enclosure. Got a backing, UV, a couple of fake plants. Food bowl, water bowl, couple of rocks, substrate. There's a hide in there. She's very active, blue tongue. She's only in a hide to warm up because there's a heat pad underneath her. Otherwise that, she's doing very well. Hopefully she doesn't get any bigger. Otherwise I might have to put her something a bit bigger. See what happens. Unlikely though. To the last 4 animals of the reptile room. So I won't go too much depth with this enclosure, as there's another enclosure just by my foot that's very identical and set up. So in here we've got Bo. He's currently hiding away in there, so I'll pop up a clip. He's doing well. Don't see him much. He come out in the early hours of the morning, and then I don't see him much during the day. He might have a little nibble here and there, and then I don't see him at all. Now below Bo we've got Blaine, who is my lowland blotch blue tongue. She's a very shy, small blue tongue. There she is, just sitting there in the hide. Hey, beautiful. You okay? She doesn't like to be disturbed. She likes things nice and quiet in the room. She'll come out if I'm quiet, but if there's a bit of noise in here, she doesn't come out at all. But she's getting more confident, which is good to see. But she's a very small blue tongue for her age, or for her species and her age as well. So she must be the runt of the litter. However, she's still healthy, she's still beautiful, and we love her. So she's housed in a 3-foot enclosure. She's got a heat lamp, UV, a couple of hides in here, fake plants, backing, a couple of rocks and a brick in here, so she can get on top of one of her hides. Food bowl, water bowl, and the substrate, which you need to clean because she's a bit of a dirty girl. Aren't she beautiful? Down here we've got Bluey, so he's the brother of Bo. So his setup is very identical to his. So both blue tongues are housed in a 4-foot, so 120cm enclosure. Both have a heat and UV lamp, backing, food bowl and water bowl in the corners, substrate, fake plant, a brick sitting on top of one of their hides. On top of their hides. So there's Bluey, I think he's trying to sleep, but I'll wake him up. Hey buddy, you okay? It's a bit of a warm day. Hey buddy. He's doing well, actually. There we go. He's doing well. Smashing food. Becoming more active since the weather here in Australia is warming up. And it won't be too long till they start destroying their cages again. So, Bluey and Bo are doing well. Nothing much to report on them two. But now, last but least, we've got Monty. I think I should rename him to Mr. Destructor. He has a habit of rubbing his nose and whatnot against the glass and making it look like I haven't cleaned it in a month. Every week or so I had to clean the glass because you can't see him sometimes. But he's doing well. Since the weather warmed up, he's been smashing food, being really active, trying to find a girlfriend, but unfortunately you won't find one this season, mate. So he's also housed in a 4-foot enclosure. In the enclosure itself, we've got his food bowl, new water bowl because he kept filling the other one up with substrate. He's got his backing, UV. He's got his heat lamp, which he loves to sit under and warm up. Then he goes all crazy again. He's got his big hide. He's got a ramp to get on top of it, a fake plant, a couple of rocks, and his substrate. So that'll be it for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all in another video.